Imagine a single product so simple yet so powerful, it quietly transformed the world's ability to communicate and learn. More than 100 billion of these objects have been sold since its debut, reaching every corner of the globe and becoming a daily tool for millions. What makes this pen so extraordinary? Beyond just writing, it revolutionized how people access knowledge, making writing affordable, reliable, and effortless. Behind that unassuming design lies a story of innovation that changed how we create and connect. The problem with early pens. For centuries, writing was a privilege reserved for the few, largely because the tools were cumbersome and costly. Traditional quill pens needed to be dipped continuously in ink, creating a messy, interruption-filled process that made writing slow and difficult. Fountain pens improved on this by storing ink inside a reservoir, but they brought their own problems: scratchy metal nibs, ink that flowed inconsistently, and high prices that kept them out of reach for most people. In fact, adjusting for today's money, fountain pens could cost around $150, making writing instruments luxury items rather than everyday tools. Because of these factors, literacy remained limited. Only about 20% of the global population could read and write at the time, highlighting a larger barrier that good pen design alone couldn't overcome. Writing needed to be more accessible and convenient, but the technologies of the day had not yet caught up. The persistent issues, messiness, expense, and inconsistent ink delivery meant that a perfect pen was still out of reach. What was needed wasn't just a small improvement, but a fresh approach that could change the very fundamentals of how pens worked. Surprisingly, the answer came from rethinking the basic mechanics behind ink flow and pen tips, but it would take decades before those insights truly took hold. This struggle to create a simple, cheap, and effective writing tool set the stage for one of the most important breakthroughs in writing history. Yet the secrets to solving these problems lay hidden behind physics and chemistry, concepts that were not obvious to early inventors. The story of how these puzzles were finally unraveled is what makes this pen's journey so fascinating and transformative. Many early inventors focused on reimagining the tip of the pen itself, which brings us to the attempts that eventually led to today's ballpoint design. Early attempts at the ballpoint pen. The idea of using a tiny ball to deliver ink was first patented by American inventor John Loud near the end of the 19th century. Instead of a soft nib, Loud's pen used a small rotating ball embedded in the tip to spread ink more evenly across rough surfaces like leather. While promising in theory, the pen was too harsh on paper and the ink flow was unreliable, causing it never to catch on commercially. Decades passed and numerous inventors tried to improve upon Loud's concept, but none could quite master the delicate balance needed between the ball, its socket, and the ink. If the ball was set too tightly, ink clogged and failed to reach the paper. If it was too loose, the ink leaked and smudged, ruining the writing. Without precision manufacturing and a proper understanding of ink chemistry, these issues were nearly impossible to solve. Inventors were searching not just for a better pen tip, but also for the ideal ink that could solve long-standing problems of smudging, drying time, and leakage. This search would lead to physics playing an unexpected and critical role in the pen's success, an insight that would go beyond mechanical design and tap into nature's invisible forces. Unlocking the secret to ink flow required a dramatic change in the ink itself, which brings us to the key breakthrough that made smooth writing possible. The key breakthrough: ink and physics. The major breakthrough came when Laszlo Biro, a Hungarian journalist and inventor, realized the key to improving the ballpoint pen lay not just in the mechanism but in the ink's composition. Most pens at the time used thin, water-based ink, which was slow to dry, prone to leaking, and absorbed too deeply into the paper fibers. Biro experimented with thick oil-based inks that dried quickly and stayed on the surface without soaking through. By using thicker ink, Biro unlocked a natural phenomenon called capillary action. This effect, seen when liquids climb thin tubes or spread through plant roots, happens because the attraction between the liquid and the surrounding surface pulls the liquid upward against gravity. In his pen, the ink was mysteriously pulled through the very thin opening around the ball and onto the rolling surface, even without gravity or complex mechanisms helping it. Applying this scientific principle was a stroke of genius that solved the biggest problems of earlier pens: messy spills, blotching, and uneven flow. Biro patented this design, though the pen was initially expensive and hard to manufacture in large quantities. Yet this innovation was the foundation for a product that would soon revolutionize how people worldwide wrote, signed documents, took notes, and ultimately improved literacy rates. With the physics behind the ink flow now understood, the next step lay in perfecting the pen's design for everyday use. So before we get into that, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Designing the perfect pen. After the breakthrough with ink and physics, the focus shifted to creating a pen that was not only reliable but affordable and easy to produce on a massive scale. French manufacturer Marcel Biche recognized the potential in Biro's invention and purchased the patents for $2 million. He adapted the design by incorporating advanced Swiss watchmaking machinery to mass-produce the tiny stainless steel balls essential for smooth ink delivery. Instead of relying on metal for the whole pen, Biche introduced molded plastic barrels, specifically made from polystyrene, which was both strong and inexpensive. The pen's hexagonal shape was inspired by pencils, preventing it from rolling off desks and making it easier to hold. Small yet important details like a tiny hole in the barrel allowed air to replace the ink as it flowed out, balancing pressure inside the pen for consistent writing. The stainless steel ball fit perfectly in its socket, rolling smoothly to transfer ink while also acting as a seal when the pen was not in use. The ink's capillary action and surface tension prevented leaks even if the pen was turned upside down. All of this came together in a pen that hit the market in 1950, costing only $2, an incredible price that made it accessible to millions for the first time. The perfect balance between innovation and practicality opened the door for producing and selling pens in vast quantities. Mass production and global spread. Marcel Biche knew mass production was key to success, so he quickly expanded beyond France, building factories worldwide to keep costs low and supply local markets. Within a few years, the pen became a global hit, selling 40 million units annually by 1953. He also simplified the brand name to Bic, dropping the silent H so English speakers could pronounce it easily. As literacy rates around the world were slowly improving, the arrival of a cheap, dependable writing instrument removed a major barrier. Suddenly, anyone who wanted to write or draw could do so with ease, and schools, offices, and homes embraced the pen as an essential tool. This global success didn't just change how people wrote, it sparked a cultural shift. Pen prices plummeted, allowing millions to afford a tool that was once considered a luxury. Literacy rates increased dramatically, rising from around 35% to nearly 90% in many parts of the world. The pen's availability helped democratize education and communication, forever changing how information was recorded and shared on a daily basis. The balance of technological finesse and smart business strategy transformed a simple object into a global icon that changed the course of history. The pen's lasting legacy. The impact of this pen extends far beyond its simple function as a writing tool. Over the 50 years following its launch, more than 100 billion units were sold worldwide, making it arguably the most successful product ever created. Its availability helped to drive literacy rates from about 35% to nearly 90% across many regions, breaking down barriers of education and communication. Its design, remarkably, has remained almost unchanged since it first hit the shelves in 1950. The pen is simple, durable, and affordable, solving problems that had stymied inventors for centuries without adding unnecessary complexity or cost. It became a symbol of accessibility, emphasizing that effective innovation does not require extravagant features but rather thoughtful engineering that meets real needs. Culturally, the pen became more than just a tool. It became an icon found in homes, schools, and offices around the globe, trusted by everyone from students to professionals. The fact that billions still use this design today highlights its lasting influence and the enduring power of thoughtful invention. Thank you for joining this journey to discover how a simple pen changed the world. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into the inventions that shape our daily lives. See you next time.